Okay, next, let's get into what's happening with the Valley. A lot of the sources are really focused on Jax Taylor and Brittany Cartwright, especially the drama around their podcast, when reality hits with Jax and Brittany.
Yeah, that podcast seems to be a huge point of contention since they split up earlier this year. Jax has apparently said it's like super successful, making around $1 million a year, which is wow.
$1 million, yeah, that's serious money. And Jax's side of the story, from what we're seeing, is that when they broke up back in early 2024, he basically just gave Brittany his whole share, like $500,000 worth, plus the RSS feed.
Right, and he framed it as, a way to stop hearing about the house payment and just make things square between them. He said he signed the papers, handed it all over.
But then you read Brittany's side, completely different.
Totally. She's saying he never did hand over that feed. Her story is the podcast just kept going as like a joint thing until the contract ran out. And now she's claiming he's dragging his feet on signing it over because it's worth so much.
And she feels like he's holding it over her head.
Exactly. Like using it as leverage, maybe for stuff with their son, Cruz, or, time together. That's her allegation anyway.
Wow. And she feels she deserves it, right? Because she did more of the work.
Yeah, that's her argument. She says she did much more work, developed the whole idea, and it was kind of like she was just interviewing him because he, quote, never wrote questions.
Okay, so she feels she put in the sweat equity.
Right. And then she connects this whole thing back to their money problems, specifically the house. She points out she's paying like an extra $10,000 a month on the mortgage.
$10,000 extra. Why?
Because of Jax's tax debt apparently being tacked onto the loan. So you can see why she'd find it unfair, right? He's fighting her on this podcast income while she's covering this huge extra cost tied to his taxes. She's even questioning if she'll ever actually profit from the podcast after paying that debt for years.
That's messy. But Jax has a different take on the house situation too, doesn't he?
Oh, completely. He says the house is going entirely to Brittany, like fully in her name. He claims she actually paid off the whole mortgage when he was in rehab, just wrote a check.
Paid it off entirely.
That's his claim. He framed it like a good deed for Brittany and Cruz, saying his son loves the house and he didn't want to, mess up their lives. He says he's ready to just start over from scratch.